All right, let's do an update here on AMD. Going down to the 1 minute time frame. So going back to the video I did, we were back down here around like 116, 117. We hit a 3-day demand zone. We bounced out of it. And so I'm looking for 137 on this. It's very nice to see that we got an impulse move here. How do we know it's an impulse? Because we broke the parallel line here, clearly. We broke the 1.61 fib, clearly. So we know that this is 1, 2, 3. Where does the fourth wave end? Likely, well, it does end right here. You can see here, barely eclipses that. And then we get a fifth wave that you can only see on the 1 minute time frame. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is the fifth wave there. And that is 5 waves up for a wave 1. If that's a wave 1, then we're looking for either a wave 2 or B. This could be an A wave too. Let's just say it could be an A wave as well. So for a second wave, I usually look for at least the 0.5 fib. And this already hit the 0.5 fib. So I have this listed as 2 or A. I should do this as sub A. So this can either be the end of the second wave here, or this move right here was wave A, and we're starting wave B. If it's wave A, then I would expect wave B to take about the same length of time. So I'd be looking for, let's see, Tuesday to Friday. So we had about 3 days of down. So I would expect 3 days of up. That takes us to Wednesday at 9 o'clock. So let's just say it ends up being, let's zoom out here a little bit. So Wednesday at, oh, I guess Wednesday is New Year's Day, so we won't have Wednesday. So maybe Thursday then. So Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll just say if it's a B wave, it's going to do that. Or it's already bottomed and we are starting a third wave or a C wave. But let's look at the timing of this now. I know this is getting pretty in depth, but it's kind of nice to break it all down here. We got 8:30 on Friday. We have Tuesday 8:30. That's 2 days up. We had 3 days down already. So this is a valid B wave. If it's a B wave, it could be a B wave or it could be a second wave. So there's a lot of different possibilities for this corrective move. It could be A of the overall B wave, it could be the overall B wave, or it could be a second wave. Let's go ahead and draw a parallel line. This is why I don't get that in depth on regular videos, because if I go down to the 1 minute, I can really get in depth on it and it can be confusing. So we held this parallel line. That's kind of nice to see. So this could be already have started for the third wave. If it's a third wave, then I'm looking for up here at 134. One thing to say is, since we got an impulse here, we know that at a minimum, regardless if it goes like, let's say it goes like this and then comes back down like that, at a minimum, we are going to get another impulse up, 100%. But the question is, does it start here? If it starts here, then we're already going up here to 134 bucks. If it's a B wave, you come up here and then come down. There is a gap down here at 120. So yeah, it's getting kind of complicated, but I'm looking for 134 on the next move up, 133.90. And if it's 5 waves, I would expect it to break this parallel line. So I would expect it to happen potentially on Monday or Tuesday, actually. If it's a B wave, we'll probably just get something up here, you know, just kind of bouncing around like that. And then we'll probably have to come back down first before we get the move up here to 134. Overall, though, if it's a 5-wave move, 133.90, we'd pull back to 131, and then I'd be looking for $141 would be my target. So if it's a 5-wave move, it's going to look like this. Basically like that. Right into weekly supply. And then from there, that's more than likely going to be an overall A wave. Because I still have this going down more. And so I'd be looking for A, pull back B, and then from there, the 1.61 fib would take us up here to 158. So that's the most likely scenario. But if we get 5 waves up on the higher time frames up here to 141, then we know that there's going to be another move higher after we retrace. So basically, I'm just going on lower time frames to higher time frames. It's the same system. So on the lower time frames, I said if it's 5 waves up, we have to have at least a C wave. If we get 5 waves up here on higher time frames, then we have to have a C wave up minimum. Could be a third wave too. So I want to see this because that means that we're going to get pullback and another move higher. But if we get this instead, let's say we just go like this. And we go up here to 134 and we don't quite make it to weekly supply. And then it comes back down here, and then we get a 5-wave move up like that. If that happens, then I definitely want to be out here because that would be an ABC move higher, not an impulse. And that means we're not guaranteed to get that next move up. We could come down here to lower lows. A 5-wave move into supply means we're going to pull back and get another move higher. So I know this. Maybe it's kind of confusing. I don't know. For me, it's not that confusing because I do it every day. But I wanted to explain it down on the 1-minute time frame. Really, all you need to focus on is the fact that we have 5 waves here. So that means we are going higher at some point. Are we going higher from here? Or are we going to go higher from here? So AMD is a hold here. I said in previous videos, minimum 137. If it's 5 waves, we're going to 141. But we zoom out here now. I still believe that the pattern is going to play out since this was 5 waves right here. I still believe the pattern is going to play out where this is the A wave and we're looking for a B wave. If that's the case, I would be looking for something that lasts at least 2 months and 12 days. So we'll see if that plays out. That would take us to the end of February. That would be, so it'd basically be like this. Probably something like that. And then I would expect that. So that is the more complicated way of explaining things. Hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. If not, look into Elliot Wave and corrective moves versus impulsive moves. But really, if I was just starting out on Elliot Wave, I would actually start off with supply and demand. We came into a 3-day demand zone. We're headed to this weekly supply zone between 137 and 144. and I showed you how 5 waves would take us to 141. So this area right here is where you're likely going to want to sell, 137 to 144. Look to sell in that area because we're probably going to get a pullback out of there. On Boeing, real quick, this didn't work. So it doesn't always work. I had weekly, I was looking for 170 for a while, right here, and it broke right through it. So it doesn't always work, but I think Boeing's on its way to a bigger move. So I think that that's the reason why. There's actually a bigger supply zone up here at 197. So anyway, that's my update on AMD. Explanation on the 1 minute time frame of why you should be holding, and you should be looking for a minimum of 137 before you decide to sell.